So before we do get into the video, I do want to let you guys know that I am on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/theprogressivevoice, and I am streaming there daily, so make sure to go follow me. But anyways, to this video, I was watching Destiny stream yesterday, and he ends up going after AOC in a really ridiculous way. Now, here's the thing, right? So first of all, I've done a good amount of Destiny videos. I'd probably say like 5 or 6 like solo Destiny vids about specifically Destiny or someone else. And they've all, to my recollection, have all been positive in Destiny's favor. Destiny is somebody who, if you don't know who Destiny is, he's a streamer over on Twitch. He's kind of a gamer guy. And he fends off a lot of the far-right stuff over on Twitch and the right-wingers that are over on Twitch. So, there's a lot of that going down that he's doing. And so he's really, really good when you talk about that sphere of influence, right? He's super good he's very, very good at, fending that off. But when it comes to actual left-wing stuff, he kind of sucks. Now, we saw a bit of this when he was talking to Hassan Piker and Kyle Kulinski, where he was defending the Trans-Pacific Partnership as well as NAFTA. This guy, he fetishizes markets, he loves capitalism, and he really, really does backflips for it. Now, the clip we're going to be seeing here is a clip, here's from AOC, right? And it is a video of AOC where she is explaining the difference between phones and healthcare in terms of commodities, because someone like Ben Shapiro, and he's a verbatim quote of him saying, well, healthcare is a commodity, just like anything else. But healthcare is life or death, and so it's not a commodity in the same way, and it doesn't work in the same parameters. And she'll explain here in a second. And Destiny's going to have a very odd take. Let's check this out.
Is a commodity. This is a commodity. Her daughter's life was not. People's lives are not commodities. When we talk about economics, there's something known as a demand curve with elasticity. And with every other commodity, you can say, how much is this phone worth to you? And you can say $100, $200. You can buy a Nokia phone. You can not have a phone at all. But you cannot ask the question, how much will you pay to be alive? How much will you pay to live? Because the answer is everything. The answer is you will pay $10, you will pay $1,000, you will go into debt, you will do anything to live. And that is what makes the price of medicine different than the price of an iPhone. Thank you very much. True.
Well, so you can ask the question. You just described how, using elastic demand. I don't understand. Oh, I'm just kidding. She's the great queen of the masses. She's a good messenger. I love her.
And so that's his first response. Now, the trouble I'm going to have with playing it, we're going to have to skip a little forward because he takes long breaks in between because he's live streaming at this time. But his response is that, oh, well, no, but you explained how you can ask that question. What AOC, anytime you get into semantical differences, it ends up usually not being a good situation because, you just start getting wrapped up in all these different semantical stuff. Now, here's the problem, right? AOC was not saying you can't ask the question, as in you can't analyze it through an economic scope. And the evidence is she literally asked that question and she answered it. She says, you can't answer it because, the demand for healthcare or medicine or whatever is extremely inelastic because it's life or death. And so what that means is you need that. You have no choice. You're going to have to give whatever the hell you have or whatever the hell you need because you must have that medicine or healthcare because that is life or death, obviously, right? And so his response seems to be a weird semantical one because what she's saying is not like, no, you can't ask the question. No, what she's saying is it's immoral to ask that question because it's life or death. And she's literally pointing out through the economics lens of economics, the subject of economics. She's looking at it through the economic lens and explaining the, elasticity of demand and how inelastic the demand is for healthcare, medicine, all that kind of stuff. So she is asking the question, she's answering the question, and then saying because of this market failure, it is very, very clear that it is immoral to have this, and it's going to be a lot of market failures because you're talking about a commodity which is life or death, and you're having it ruled by the fist of the market, which it's going to come into a failure. But what's super weird about all of this, right, is, and he there goes and says, oh, and later on, he ends up going in on AOC even more, and he continues to go, we'll look at it a little bit more, but, way deeper into this, he starts going after AOC, saying that, like, she says, like, level 1 stuff, and so she doesn't really like her and stuff like that, and it's really weird because Destiny really does come from a different sphere, right? He comes from a sphere where he's in, like, his Twitch bubble, and he talks to, other Twitch streamers about all of these different philosophical things, and, can you justify your moral axioms and whatever, morally justify your axioms or whatever. Like, this kind of stuff is so ridiculously outlandish and not in this sphere. Like, so AOC, right? We're talking about, like, I don't know what Destiny wants her to talk about. I don't understand. Like, she's talking about a key difference between the commodities of cell phones and anything else for that matter, and healthcare, medicine, etc. She's pointing that out. I don't understand what huge takes do you want her to talk about? Like, she's got a constituency. She's actually part of government, so she's actually doing something. And so she's, advocating those policies. None of what you're saying, Destiny, makes any sense. And your attack is just super random and weird. Now, Destiny has an element of edginess to him, right? He always seems to want to piss people off. He wants to be a very edgy guy, very living on the edge. And he's been having hot take after hot take recently. So he literally cannot stop getting caught up in hot takes. But let's continue with this. I'll see if I can get to some parts.
Yeah, that's called elasticity. You can't ask how much you'll pay with medicine. It's like, well, you can, but it's different than phones. Well, yeah, that's
but no. But I lost my spot. But no, like, she did ask that. That's the thing, and it's as evidenced by her literally asking the fucking question. She literally asked the question about, putting that inside of putting healthcare, medicine, etc. inside the lens of, of the economical lens. And so she asks the question, she answers the question, and then comes to the conclusion that there are market failures because, as she explains, commodities like a phone. And by the way, I don't even understand how the iPhone can be explained through an economic lens. You can educate me in the comments section, because there are phones out in the market. I watched a couple videos from this guy named Unbox Therapy, and he explains how there are so many phones out on the market that are literally half the price of iPhones that are out now. And they have higher technology. Remember, Apple's always on the tail end of everything. Samsung has higher stuff. I think the Google phone even has more stuff, etc., etc. So I don't even know how the iPhone could be explained through, those kinds of, that kind of a lens. But the point here being is she's asking the question and then deducing that it's immoral. And what's the craziest about this is Destiny agrees. And he goes on to say that here in the video, where he talks about how, that's probably why there are market failures. And I believe that Destiny is an advocate of single-payer healthcare because, for that reason specifically, because he thinks that there is a market failure, which there is, in the healthcare sphere, due to that specific reason, that the demand is extremely inelastic, because you need that. You have absolutely zero choice. You have to have it.
You're charging. Well, it's not pointless. It's good to analyze the elasticity of products, right?
And that's what she did.
Medicine is highly inelastic, meaning that you will pay a lot for the same product.
That's what she just told you.
Unchanging, right? Inelastic. It's one of the reasons why market failures exist around healthcare, probably.
Well, there it is. So what the fuck are you disagreeing with AOC on, dude? This doesn't make any sense. You're repeating what she just said, dude. She literally just said that, the demand is inelastic, and she said that you'll pay anything for it. You're just repeating what she's saying, but just being a D-bag and responding to it and trying to, like, antagonize her and go after her and belittle her. It's incredibly, like, ridiculous, honestly. I did not expect this kind of a take from Destiny. He's got some pretty controversial takes, I would say, from a left-wing standpoint like mine. you know, whether it be on free trade agreements, now I guess AOC. Now he's like, dude, he literally explained it right there, as I just told you, that there are market failures most likely because of those specific factors. And Walt's like, well, then what the fuck? Why are you doing this? And so the only thing I can deduce from this, again, is that, you know, this is just kind of his edginess, if you will. Now, a big issue with this whole thing, well, I want to say that you can go in and watch more of this, but it's hard to skip through, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But he goes in and he starts going off on AOC, and I think he banned the word AOC from his chat, so he doesn't see it for like an hour or something like that. But I just don't know what's going on. And I think someone schooled him in a debate on this, actually. I haven't seen the full part of it, but that's at least what people are saying. So I don't know what Destiny's doing. Usually we make videos praising him and positive videos. This ain't one of them. You know, fix yourself, man. Fix yourself.